Hey guys, what is up? This one's going out to Richard Roy, who asked me a question in his last video, which was a response to one of my last videos, which was on the whole, America-Africa thing. How do I see people? Which, even though he later on said to me in a comment that he felt it was a dumb question to ask me because it's apparent how I see people as people, I still think it's a fair question, and to be honest, it goes a little bit deeper. I mean, yeah, I see people as people. If I'm going to answer the question directly and as simply as I can, I see people just as people. I don't try to judge them just because they have, certain features or a certain amount of melanin in their skin or whatever. Yeah, you drink beers. I drink Arizonas. Well, if I have to. I like making my own iced green tea, but still. Anyway. Even though I see them as people, it can get kind of complicated when I start talking about the emotions I feel sometimes when I encounter people. If you guys really want to know how I feel about people, humans, overall, because I lump all humans in one group, whether you're black, white, Chinese, Greek, it doesn't care, I really don't care. All humans I lump up into this one ball of brilliant, talented, emotional, caring, giving, stupid, destructive, infuriating, idiotic, asshole group of fucking species. That's how I see humans. I love them and they make me sick at the same freaking time. We're a species with so much potential. So much we can do. We've done so much already. Look at the fact that in just a few short years, if you look at the time span of the Earth, and look at the time span of us being on here and the time span of, the Industrial Revolution and how technology evolved, in a small period of time, we went from having to wait months before receiving a letter from someone to being able to instantly communicate with each other with small little webcams. And either we can post things up on YouTube to send messages, or we send things to email, or if you're on Skype, which is what I like to use, I can communicate you directly that way, face to face. That's fucking amazing! And yet at the same time, I live in a world where they have creationist museums where they have human beings and dinosaurs walking around at the same time and they're trying to say that that's real. I live on a planet with a country where some redneck somewhere who's going to be saying, "I hate you niggers," anytime somebody gives him any criticism, at the same time secretly wishes he was a Japanese ninja / samurai. This is the country I live in. This is the planet I live in. People who can be so brilliant and yet so stupid at the same time, and it's frustrating, to say the least. It really is. And it's not to say that I have not had my own lapses of stupidity. Boy, have I during my younger years. And I'm not going to say that I won't have any lapses of stupidity going on in life, because it's my curse. I'm human. I'm just trying to be aware of it and stopping it before it gets destructive for me and anyone else around me. Now, as far as the descriptions and descriptors used, like, black person, African person, whatever, I know I sort of nitpicked at them a bit in my last video, like when I was saying that there's really no white person, there's really no black person, because, my skin's brown, your skin's a lighter shade of brown and all that. But I understand that in context, when we're using language, we're going to use certain terms that are a bit inaccurate, because, well, that's everyday use. I want people to understand this aspect about me. I like to constantly examine and re-examine certain things that we tend to hold for sacred. Like things that we tend to just take advantage of or take for granted. I like to examine them and really pinpoint them and say, is this really what it's supposed to be? Or is this really what people think it is? Because I think the more we examine ourselves and examine our beliefs and examine what we say and how we form our languages and things like that, the more we can understand ourselves and get at the truth of things. Now, this is not to mean that I expect people to suddenly start trying to come up with perfect, correct terms, because then that would make me no better than the politically correct assholes out there trying to monitor people's language. So when I go around saying that, look, I'm not black, I'm brown, it's not for me to say, from now on, call me a brown person. No, I'm just trying to get people to look at, yeah, that is a ridiculous term, isn't it? Yeah, you can still keep using it. I still use it. I'll still call certain people white and, other people black and so on, because it's an easy term to throw out. But I'm aware of the term. And that's really all I was trying to do, like get people to be aware of the terms that they're using. Because again, the more we are aware of what we're doing, the closer we can get at the truth of things, and the more we can understand that we're all pretty much the same group of idiots walking around that every now and then prove ourselves to be brilliant. I think that's really all I have to say on the subject. It's like, that's pretty much how I see people. I see people as people, and I see them as, every time I see somebody, I see like a potential brilliant person, somebody who I might be able to connect with or vibe with or something like that. And then they open their mouths, and then I just wish they were never around. But every now and then I bump into some cool people. So far I've bumped, like, over the recent few years, I've bumped into a lot of freaking cool people, some which I'm communicating with right now, including the person who I'm making this response video to. So I know there's some really cool, you know, walking towards enlightenment people out there, you know? That was a really uncomfortable phrase, wasn't it? I know that, you know, there's people out there who are really trying to, you know, work towards that human potential and trying to wake that potential in others and trying to get other people to see that we're all one, that we're all connected. It doesn't really matter, you know, what we look like or where we were born at. It's just, you know, we are all the same freaking species and we're all capable of doing the same brilliant / stupid things. And I really wish that someday people would just realize that and get over their freaking differences. I understand that, you know, as we are a tribal species, you know, in a sense, you know, we every now and then de-evolve into tribalistic thinking. When you see somebody different, your natural tendency is to distrust them, but at the same time, we are a social species. We're social animals. And we will, sooner or later, you know, succumb to our inborn humanity to reach out towards one another, especially when they're in need. Like, look what went on with Haiti. There's a lot of people in this country who idiotically believe that Haiti is filled with a bunch of devil worshippers. That thing that Pat Robinson said, that was not an isolated incident. There's a lot of people who believe that, and that's because of the propaganda that was said about that island ever since they freed themselves so many years ago. But notice, people still were giving in droves when they found out what happened over there. Tons of them. Lots of white people who supposedly hate black people. Oh man, did you hear what happened in Haiti? Shit, we gotta do something. Do you have any idea how many legit charities I used to drive by where I live? People like, please, you gotta give. We need to do something. It's that humanity. Again, every now and then you see that spark. And that makes me smile. And, you know, then I see some other idiot and I'm right back to fucking humans. I hate them. You know, this is a frustrating freaking species to be a part of. It really is. By the way, it's because, to slightly go to a different topic, it's because of the potential I see with human beings and the fact that I know that we're social animals and then, you know, we have this tendency to want to get together. That's why I come up with the questions I do when it comes to politics. When it's like, well, what does it mean to be part of a society? How should a society function? Is socialism really that bad? Is capitalism really that bad? Because what I'm trying to get people to understand is there's a certain reason why we came together as a society. There's a certain reason why we come together as a, you know, in societies and come up with certain rules so that we can live with one another. And there's a certain thing that we're trying to evolve society towards for that. And what I'm basically trying to get people to look at is, well, if we can understand what we're trying to do with our society and why we come together in societies in the first place, then there has to be certain systems that we either need to put in place or tweak or improve in some way in order to facilitate the reasons why we come together in these societies in the first place. And some of these things may not go with what we believe society should be like. And I don't want to get too much into that because then it's going to let me go make this video much longer, and I've talked way long enough already for such a simple freaking question. How do I see people? Well, I see people as people. Glorious and ridiculous at the same time. That's how I see people. Catch you later.